Natalie Justice, and I currently serve as one of the pastors in the Russell County Parish in Russell County, Virginia. And I am also the executive director at Elk Garden School Community Ministry in Rosedale, Virginia. Well, I felt a call when I was 18 years old. I grew up in the Baptist church. My grandfather was a Baptist minister, had a huge impact on my life. I always felt led to serve God, but I never knew I was going to feel a call until I felt it about 18. I was playing French horn in the church orchestra in my church in Sevierville, and we were playing Amazing Grace. The service was getting ready to end, and the pastor had an altar call. And at that moment, I just felt a push in my heart to go forward and pray with the pastor, and I felt called to the ministry. It's hard to really explain that feeling, but when I went forward, talked to the pastor, and shared with him how I was feeling, and just I felt called to ministry. And he said, "Oh, okay, well, we need to have a discussion later this week. Why don't you go back up to the orchestra and just continue playing?" So I said, "Sure." And so I went back up, played, and at the end of the service, two other young men who were about my age also felt called to ministry at that same service. And he recognized them in front of the church, and the church celebrated their call. And then later we met, and he had a conversation with me and said, "Natalie, I don't think you heard it right, because women can't be called to full-time ministry." He goes, that you need to really kind of just really think about that conversation, or the thoughts that the call that you thought you'd heard. And I remember being really confused, and I guess at the time I didn't really understand that women could serve in different ministries as leadership in the Baptist church. But I just told him, I said, I know that I'm called, I just don't know to what. And so did several different positions within different Baptist churches. I was in interim ministry. I was an interim music minister. I did children's ministry and youth ministry, and just had a lot of great experiences of affirmation while I was discerning my call. Later, when I was in seminary, I decided to apply for a position at Central United Methodist in Knoxville, Tennessee. It was the first time I served at a Methodist church, and it was really my first, it was a part-time position, but it was my first position in ministry, and I served as their children's director. Loved every minute of it. And during my time at Central, that was when I began discerning my call into pastoral ministry. I never would have thought about that, never would have imagined that that's where God was leading me, but that moment was such a pivotal moment for me. And looking back at the person I was at 18 and looking at the person I am now at 39, it's still hard for me to imagine serving as a pastor in really any church. But it just goes to show you that God can call anybody and use anyone in ways they can't imagine. Don't be a lone ranger. One of the greatest things about serving in ministry, especially in the Methodist Church, is we have the Connectional System. We have colleagues who, from all walks of life, who through different opportunities you can build relationships with, learn from, glean from. I'm so thankful for the support system that I have, who walks the journey with me, prays with me. I pray for them, and even they'll call me out sometimes when I make an error, but they do it out of love. It's great to have a group that walks the journey with you. And so just don't be a lone ranger. You're not in this alone. God didn't call you to be alone. God called you to serve, and there's others who are serving and want to serve alongside you.